106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Bartender knows what we want. We're a regular, everyday, 2-for-1 family, keeping each other from thinking too much. Someone's always buying if you ain't got money, 'cause everyone needs drinking buddies.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back. C&D's Booze Reviews, episode 50.
50, baby.
50. That's crazy that in 2 weeks, it'll be 1 year.
It'll be 1 year.
So that means that after this drops, next week, you'll be in California again.
Yeah.
And we're still kind of talking about what we're going to do with that. So episode 51, either we're going to have something special planned where I'm going to have to figure something out while you're soaking up the sunshine,
Yeah.
or something. And then, like, literally right when you get back, we celebrate a year.
Yeah.
And then we move into the new studio.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know. It's just crazy because, I mean, I'm sure obviously when we get to a year, we'll reflect on
The journey?
But it's like,
Yeah.
if I'm being 100% honest, I kind of thought that at one
Hey,
point,
give ourselves a high five.
yeah, thank you. I kind of thought that maybe at one point we'd get like 3 months into this and just be like, you know what?
We're not feeling it.
We tried. But hey, that's due and largely in part of the listeners, except that one fucker in France, unless,
Yeah.
that was an Olympian.
Yeah, well, shout out to him. Or her.
Or her.
Yeah, or her.
Or there was some controversy this year, or, maybe somebody we don't,
Yeah.
the pronouns and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, thanks for real. Thank you so much. But we're back with another episode. This week was Chase's week. He decided to be kind of a douchebag. I knew it was going to happen at some point.
I mean,
He's got the
It's there
poster
on the
for
wall.
it.
Yeah.
So Chase chose The Thing, which is a horror movie from 1982. And I'll just kind of let him get into it. I think we got a lot to cover today, not a whole lot of time. So
Yep.
take it away, buddy.
Okay, brief rundown. This movie, you follow a group of scientists that are doing research in Antarctica. And for unbeknown reasons to you, they encounter this alien life form that is capable of basically imitating anything that it comes in contact with. And
Anything
it is
living, right?
living, yeah. And it is a very deadly creature. And it sends these scientists on a journey to try to figure out who or what is the thing and stop it, basically.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I guess we'll just dig into her.
Go ahead.
Opening scene is incredible. It starts off with, you see this, like, I guess husky.
Yeah, I mean, Kurt Russell's just like playing chess against like a IBM computer.
Yeah.
And then, it's like, at first I thought it was maybe a wolf because there's a dude on a helicopter like shooting at it.
He's just boom, boom.
And I was
Terrible
like,
shot, by the way.
I'm glad you brought that up. He was terrible. But I was like, oh, okay. Because I saw, like, I kind of put it together. Oh, okay, this is like a research team in Antarctica or something. And you know that Liam Neeson movie where he's like in charge of like killing the wolves and stuff to keep the scientists safe?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. But then he kept missing it, which I get it. Shooting out of a helicopter.
Well, this is a scientist, we presume,
Yeah.
right? So maybe, like, firearms isn't his expertise.
But then I was kind of like, oh, I hope that they're not intending that to be a wolf. Like, I hope we don't have to pretend that's a wolf because that's clearly like a Malamute or a husky.
Yeah.
And then he starts dropping grenades out of the thing, and I'm like, God, you're just horrible.
The opening scene is crazy. He starts throwing thermal charges and all sorts of crazy
and
shit.
it's like a Norwegian scientist, and then all the Americans are standing out there like, what in the hell is going on? And then the guy gets out of the helicopter and just starts opening fire.
Yeah, he doesn't care about a person, none of
No.
that. He just is like, screw it, I have to kill this dog. And, as an audience member, you have no idea
Right.
why.
Mhm.
And well, you come to find out the scientists die. Like these guys are getting shot at, and they're like, "Holy shit!"
The Norwegian scientists
Yeah.
die. Yeah,
They're like, "Holy shit!" Like we have no choice but to like shoot back and
one shot,
one shot,
one shot, one kill. That's USA, baby.
Yeah.
You know, that's what happens.
Well, the guy was also dressed like he was a damn sheriff of a town or something.
I did notice that. It looked like he had a badge. I don't think it was a badge, but it looked like he had one clipped on it. I was
No,
like,
but he.
it's like, all right, you douchebag.
In every like '80s movie, that's the sheriff of a town.
Yeah,
right
and he
there.
had like a .38 special revolver too, which was like a standard issue police gun in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, he
too.
was a cop, right?
My dad was a campus police officer, and he's got one. It's like my favorite gun in my collection.
Oh, I bet those are cool as shit.
It's a Smith and Wesson 38 special revolver, and it's freaking. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'll put it on when I'm walking around the ranch, and I'm like, I feel like a fucking cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the scientists though allow this dog to come in
Yeah. Well, I mean, wouldn't you? It's a
because
dog.
they
It's
think,
their dog.
Well,
isn't it?
obviously, no, it's not their dog.
Oh.
They were just like, "What the hell is that about?"
Right. Okay. I thought maybe it was because they had a bunch of dogs.
This calls into. This makes them all be like, "What the hell was that?" So Kurt Russell, you find out, is McCready. He is the pilot.
Yeah.
And he's like, screw it, let's go up, let's go to their base and see what the hell's going on here. Because he's like, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes off. Well, this dog you see is just running around the station the entire time.
Right.
And you kind of just like, what's the deal going on with this thing?
He seemed like a well-behaved dog.
By the way, when Kurt Russell gets in the helicopter with the the lead doctor, basically, I laughed so hard because I forgot he wears this like obnoxious fucking like hat. Did you see this thing?
I don't know if I noticed it as
It was
well
like
as you did.
It was like this goddamn big on his head, dude.
Okay. I don't know. But here's what I will say about Kurt Russell. So, he's a lot older now, and his son, Wyatt Russell's in a lot of
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
And I've never thought they looked alike, because, but then you see Kurt Russell in this movie, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
he looks just like him.
Yeah.
Like
it's crazy.
identical.
It's crazy.
And he's kind of cool. His vibe in this movie is pretty cool.
Yeah,
you
he's
know?
just kind of laid back. He's a drinker.
He's like a pilot. He's probably a veteran, I would assume.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, he wears the aviator shades. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So this crew though, they take off towards this base and quickly discover like there's something happened. It's
Total carnage.
total carnage. The place is burned down. People like killed themselves.
I will say that was pretty gnarly. Like the first thing that I thought was pretty gnarly was when they found that body sitting in the chair, and he had I assume he did it, slit his own throat, and then slit his wrists. And it's so cold. I mean, it's Antarctica. So
It
the
freezes the
blood
blood.
is frozen
Yeah.
as it was coming out of his veins. I was like, that's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at one point in this movie they say it's like negative 100
Yeah.
or something. It's
Well,
like
it's like they had just got there too, because he's like, it's the first goddamn week of winter.
Yeah. So, but when they get to this base, they end up finding this. I don't know how to describe it. This carcass that is just twisted.
It's like two-headed.
It's mangled. It looks crazy. And they're like, what the hell is this thing? So they bring it back. And this is kind of where in the movie they start to realize, oh shit,
Something's wrong.
something's wrong here.
Yeah.
And so they're starting to dissect this thing. Well, it's human. And they're like, this is all human anatomy.
Right.
And they realize, oh shit, like we got some problems. And I think at some point they like take a blood sample or something. And as this is going on, they're putting the dog with the other dogs. And this is finally when you see,
Yeah.
boom, it explodes. It's
weird.
This alien thing.
Yeah, it freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it starts absorbing all these dogs. It's trying to kill them. And at the same time, the lead scientist, Blair, he realizes like via like computer, which by the way, the technology was not existent.
It was 82.
But he's realizing that the cells are attacking each other and that this thing can imitate
Yeah.
life. So instantly in his head, he goes, holy shit, we got a problem. And I think McCready hears the dogs and he just, boom, hits the alarm.
Yeah, the fire
And
alarm.
Immediately, the whole crew, everyone's like, holy shit, there's some issues here.
I like how they just had flamethrowers on deck.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I'm assuming because of the ice and the cold, maybe they use it to melt.
Dethaw shit, maybe?
I don't know, but I was like, you just got military grade flamethrowers sitting
Hey,
around.
whatever. So this is when the entire crew realizes, holy shit, we're dealing with something insane here.
Yeah, something out of this world.
And so they torch the thing, they burn it to a crisp, and they're all gathered around this body again, and they're like, what the hell is going on here? And then immediately, like, Blair, the lead scientist, alarms are going off in his head, and he's like, holy shit. Any one of these people, because that dog just ran around for the whole day.
He kind of starts to freak out.
And he's like, at any point, they could have imitated anybody that we know here.
Yeah.
And so he realizes they have a huge issue. And this kind of starts the beginning of them, like, all losing their goddamn minds.
Yeah, I mean, they're panicking.
I mean, if you put yourself in their shoes, absolutely. Everyone there would be panicking.
Yeah, because it's like trying to get to the bottom. It's kind of like, in a weird way, it's like one of those murder mysteries where they're like, okay, who's the murderer?
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, oh, any one of these people could be a freaking crazy alien that's just going to like eat me or turn into me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you find out, though, they're storing this body, and at a certain point, they find out that to kill these things, you have to, like, completely incinerate every cell in it.
Yep.
Because, it takes it takes one of their scientists and starts to turn into him.
Yeah.
And yeah, that scene's gruesome too, because he goes running away because the whole purpose of it is it's trying to escape and then expand out.
Right.
But it's adapted enough to realize, like, if I don't do shit perfectly, I'm going to die because humans will kill me.
Yeah. Well, it's a smart organism. And I mean, if we can just jump around a little
Yeah,
bit.
go ahead.
Well, like they find out that like you find out that like these Norwegian people or somebody like thawed these things out. Like they were frozen.
Oh, they find a spacecraft.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it was frozen for like a long time, right? And then these scientists accidentally, discover this thing, and it ended up being their demise because they awoke it essentially.
Yeah, basically.
So like it's comfortable, or it's defense mechanism in a way, like when you can they start thinning the herd. It's like they're trying to be more incognito because they're like, screw it, I'll just freeze myself and go back to sleep or whatever until
something else
wakes me up. And then, as you keep going, like these people are just getting more and more paranoid, trying to figure out what's the best way to kind of narrow down who's this creature or how many of them there are. And they come up with, or Kurt Russell comes up with this like blood test, but everybody starts turning on each other.
Oh yeah, immediately. Like, because they realize the danger this thing is.
It hides in plain sight.
Yeah. And so much so, Blair, though, at a certain point, makes sure that there is no way they can leave the facility.
Yep.
So, like, he destroys the helicopter. He destroys the I don't know what those are called.
What?
It's like a giant sled thing, and you can drive it over.
Oh, the snowcat?
Yeah, the snowcat.
That's what Jeremy Renner got.
Ran over by?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So he destroys that. He basically makes it where no one can leave.
Yep.
Because he realizes the danger of this thing. Like, if it was to get out into the general population, it could destroy the world.
Yeah.
So he basically just like cements that, well, they're going to die there, basically.
I think a couple of them are holding on to hope. Like Kurt Russell kind of says it throughout the movie. He's like, we're not getting out of this. Like,
yeah.
It's just kind of our responsibility to make sure that this doesn't get anywhere.
Very quickly, too, you find out, like Kurt Russell's pretty much the guy in charge, like, of trying to figure out what's going on or who's what.
Yeah, well, he's got the stones for it. I think these other guys are like scientists, right? And he's like a pilot.
Yeah.
So he's got probably worldly experience.
Yeah.
And by the way, what were they studying?
I never said. I assume like what they do now, like ice or whatever, they'll pull ice samples and see what the earth was made out of.
I will say maybe one of these guys in this group struck me as an intelligent scientist.
Yeah, Blair. Yeah.
And then the rest of them were just like,
one guy was like a cook, and he was just like rolling around on
They just seem like
rollerblades.
dudes they go on like an offshore drilling rig, and I'm like, and you're
And one dude was smoking joints the entire time.
Yeah.
It's like I was like, I don't know what he's doing.
and watching like reruns of The Price is Right.
Yeah,
But yeah, shit gets crazy.
yeah, and the blood test, dude. One of the crazy. It's one of the most iconic scenes ever.
Yeah, that was pretty gross.
Yeah.
But there's some pretty unique twists in the movie that I don't think we could talk
Yeah,
about.
I don't want to ruin this because,
Yeah.
like, I want people to go see this movie.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
All right, so if we're not gonna, because any further and we risk
I
like
think so.
kind of ruining it.
I think so.
So I don't want to know though your personal
Yeah.
experience watching this by yourself.
It didn't scare me. I think if I would have saw it for the first time in 1982, I think it would have terrified me.
Oh yeah, this movie was probably
But
the first of its
scary
kind.
movies have gotten so freaking crazy, and I hate them. I don't understand horror movies. I don't get the appeal. I've never been a fan, so I have like such a hard time with them. Even if they're like, you know, these really popular ones, I don't get it. There were some parts where I was certainly like, damn, if it's 1982, this movie scares the shit out of me. But because of like movies like the freaking Conjuring and The Hills Have Eyes and all these other movies that I've been forced to watch over the years, luckily I was desensitized to it. Plus, it's 1982. Like the effects for this movie were pretty good, but when you see some of the shit that they can do in movies now, and then you watch that, you're like there was one point where I saw some blood on the ground, and I was like, that does not look like blood to me at all.
Yeah.
So because of that, I think I was able to not be like terrified. I will say the first time I saw the alien come out of the dog, it was pretty dark outside. And I was like, I don't like that at all. That kind of scared me a little bit. And then the scene like where they're doing the blood test, that I knew something was going to happen. I just didn't know who it was going to be.
Dude, that scene is so great because it's so suspenseful, right? He's slowly going one by one through these samples.
And so that one it jump scared me a little bit. I was just waiting. I was like, who's it going to be? When's it going to happen?
Yeah.
You know, because you knew it was going to be somebody. But then there was a part of me that was like, well, how does he even know if this blood test thing is going to work? You know,
he's basing this off an assumption.
because for the longest time, I thought it was somebody. And they passed this blood test. I'll tell you off the air.
Okay.
And they passed the blood test, and it wasn't them.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was like, man, if this ends up being the guy, it's going to be a crazy twist or outcome. And that didn't happen, which I mean, I'm indifferent about, but that's just, so in that regard, it was kind of interesting because I thought I had it figured out, and then ended up I was probably further away from the truth than I thought I was.
I will say this movie does a really good job of like, you really don't know.
Yeah.
Like on first viewing, like the first time I ever watched this, it's hard to like, you're like, God damn, who is it? Like, you know, you can't really figure it out.
I mean, like, just coming at like critically, from a standpoint critically, I think that just a very small amount of like more information could have gone a long ways for me to understand a little bit.
I think that's on purpose. They did that.
And that's maybe, and that's
it's John Carpenter.
I understand that's an artistic decision. I was kind of lost sometimes because I just didn't understand. Like, okay, they killed one, right? They totally torched it, and then they torched another one, and I'm like, so is it just one? Is it multiple?
I think it's if it just comes in contact.
Right.
So like,
but
it doesn't take
of course,
much.
and I guess they didn't really know either.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of the point.
But and then like every time it evolved, I don't know, it just didn't look the same. Like it was like a spider at some point, and then it was this weird thing. So I was just I was a little lost, if I'm being 100% honest. But if that was intentional, then kudos, because
I think
mission accomplished.
I really do think it was intentional.
But I was just like frustrated the whole movie. I was like, if you would just get, like, if they could just find some bit of research that maybe the Norwegians found, like just a little bit more context.
Well, I think the problem was they couldn't read Norwegian because
I get that too.
Yeah, like it's all in Norwegian.
But
so like,
listen, that's kind of their fault. Like, if you're gonna go to Antarctica, wouldn't you have a bilingual guy there that could talk to fellow camps around?
you would think.
Because you would assume resources are stretched thin. You're probably gonna have to work with all these.
I mean, you're at the farthest end of the world you
Right.
could possibly be at.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. Rating wise, I'm already gonna tell you it's a 6 out of 6 for me. I love this movie.
I knew you did. Yeah, I'm at about like a 2, if I'm being honest. I just don't like horror movies.
I know. I figured you'd be low, to be honest.
And if I understood it a little bit better, I think it would be higher. And like I said, I think it's like 86 on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's like a 92 with the audience, and then I think you're right, 86 for critics.
Okay. If I'm in 1982, this movie rates a lot higher for me because, like I said, I'd be a lot more scared.
I'm just gonna give you the rundown of why I love this movie.
Okay, go ahead.
One, John Carpenter, man's a master at body horror, and this particular movie, I think it might be his best film because it's very well written. In my opinion, I think
Well, it's completely unique. I will say that.
Yeah, it's very unique.
Never been another movie like it. It to my knowledge.
It also, like you said, confuses you because you, as an audience, don't understand what the hell's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm being a little critical because, like, I do understand the reasoning behind that because, like, you are figuring it out just like they are.
Yeah.
Which is a cool thing.
Yeah.
I was just perplexed and a little pissed off the whole time because I'm like, just tell me, you know?
It doesn't even. Well, I'll save that, but and then Kurt Russell, man, he just puts it down in this movie.
He does. I love Kurt Russell.
God, he's good in this movie.
Hey, speaking of Kurt Russell, you see the shirt I'm wearing today?
Hell's coming with me. Yeah. Yeah, great character. I mean, dude, Kurt is awesome in pretty much any movie he's in.
Yeah.
And-
Dude, he's got a movie. All right, we'll get back to. I know you got your notes. There's a movie of his that a lot of people haven't seen, I don't think, and I loved it growing up. Maybe I'll put it on the list, but Captain Ron.
I think I have seen that one.
Captain, it's like this rich couple buy a boat and they want to like kind of sail it in the, I don't know, Caribbean or whatever, but they don't know how to do it, so they need a captain. Well, Kurt Russell's like a beach bum basically, and he has no home or food or money, and he convinces these people. He's like, "Oh, I'm a hell of a sea captain, and I've captained all these boats."
Yeah.
And they hire him, and it's just a disaster the whole time because he doesn't know what he's doing.
But also cinematography and the musical score in this movie is top notch, in my opinion.
I will say, when it comes to like music in kind of suspense or horror movies, like in the 70s
good,
and
man.
80s, it's a lot of like violin and like you know what I mean? And they don't really do. I think that I don't know. I don't watch a lot of horror movies. I've getting a lot more desensitized to like suspenseful stuff lately.
Yeah.
I'm pick and choosing, but
It's like you said, though. This isn't really it is a horror movie, but it's more of like, I put it as a psychological thriller, in my opinion.
yeah, I don't know. I think you have to classify it as horror just because of the monster aspect of it,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
gore and the blood,
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Which I'm also like, I don't care if it's a war movie, dude. I see people's guts come out of their belly. I don't like it.
Yeah, I will give a fair warning. Do not watch this with kids. There is a ton of,
The language isn't bad. Like they say the F word a
no,
couple
but like the body horror stuff
yeah.
is
And by the way,
pretty metal.
well done for the makeup department, the prop department,
Yeah.
everything like that. Because when I saw some of the Monsters Evolve, and the whole time I have this 1982 in my head, and I'm like, damn, because you see some movies from especially the early 80s, and you're just like, it's not believable, but you have to be like, I get it, it was the 80s.
Yeah.
However, in this one, I don't know who they ended up getting for a team to put this shit together,
His name's Rob something. I just read it last night.
but well done. I mean, because it made me like I had to look away.
It looks believable. It really does. Like,
Yeah.
I
mean, as far as something like this could be believable.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say, I think, in my opinion, I've watched a lot of horror movies, and
You're a big fan.
and I will say, I think this is maybe one of my favorite, like, if not one of the greatest ones ever made.
And like if you get on Reddit or get on some of these internet forums and like movie blogs, I'm the enigma. Everybody else is in agreement. It's like, this is the classic. This is a
Yeah.
cult movie and incredible.
I already knew you were gonna have such a low score, though.
Dude, but I went into it open minded. I'm not trying to be that guy. It's not for me.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I watched it because, it's a
Yeah,
classic
what's a
movie.
classic now?
And Kurt Russell was awesome. And I forget his name. The black dude, he's in.
Keith something.
Yeah.
But he plays Childs. In
It
the
was
movie.
interesting to see him
Young.
because his voice sounded completely different. Like his cadence to the way he talks, because he almost plays the same character in like every movie that you see him in. Like now, just like a pissed off.
He's kind of the antagonist of this movie in a little bit. Of
Yeah,
a way.
and I'm not gonna spoil it, and I get why they do it. I understand, but it pisses me off. I hate when movies end the way this one ended. It's a big issue for me. In almost every movie that ends like this, I'm like, you Son of a bitch.
You like answers.
I want answers. If I'm going to devote 2 hours of my life
Yeah.
to this, I want a conclusion.
Yeah, I personally love the ending, but that's just me.
I didn't. It's like, you sons of bitches.
So I wrote down a few podcast topics throughout the week that I thought I would bring up on here today.
Okay. I've got a couple things. So, you go first.
Okay. I know you're not a huge conspiracy theorist guy.
No, I'm not.
I stumbled upon one that I think rivals flat earthers. Okay.
Okay.
You ready? So,
I have a recent experience with a flat earther, by the way, that I haven't told you.
buckle up, because this one's, it just says, how, you know what? Don't want to say it. Maybe we have some listeners that
I don't care.
but
It's
I will
stupid. It's
say
bizarre and it's stupid.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one is rock formations now being the stumps of trees.
Like petrified trees?
Yes. Like there's called the Devil's Tower. I can't remember exactly where it's at. But it's like a 300-foot rock structure. And if you were looking at it, you'd be like, oh, yeah, that could be a tree. But it's a rock structure.
Right.
No, on the internet now, there's conspiracy theories that people are going around finding like volcanoes and stuff. And they're like, that's the tree base. It's like, okay, well, what cut it off?
Yeah. And why are people lying to you that it's not a
So
tree?
this is a 10,000-foot tall tree?
Yeah, but what's the, like...
Yeah, what's the...
Because
what-
I assume, like, what are those people? Geologists? Is
Yeah.
that rock scientists?
Yeah.
I assume people have taken samples and tested. Like, what's the benefit? Like, if I'm going to lie to you and be like, no, that's not a tree, it's a rock.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you're lying to me. What? Why?
I don't.
Why would I lie to you about that?
I didn't dig super deep into this one because
Well,
I was
please
like,
don't.
because I was like, this
you're
is
gonna
this
get
is
wrapped up
stupid.
in like it's the damn Branch Davidians in Waco, Texas. You're gonna.
No, I couldn't do it. But I seen that and I was like, this can't be real. Like people actually believe this shit.
People believe anything.
No,
man.
dude, it is real. There's Reddit forums, people going crazy.
It's
over
because people have no life socially. So they're like, how do I get involved with like a group of people that are going to accept me? Oh, I'll just go with all these fucking weirdos, you know?
Oh my God.
Like all these virgins that spend more time trying to prove that birds aren't real. They'll accept me because surely
That was also on the list too.
the birds aren't real.
Yeah, that
I'm
one-
over that. I haven't heard anything about it in a couple years. I don't even want to open that can of worms. It's one of the
Okay.
stupidest things.
Okay, and then here's some other random thoughts I had throughout the week.
Okay.
Why is it that Dog the Bounty Hunter,
Uh-huh.
they chase people down, right?
Yeah.
Break their doors down
Awesome.
and run them down for like 2 weeks. They're trying to find these people,
Yeah.
right?
And then they bear mace them.
Well, they'd bear mace him.
Yeah.
And then this poor son of a bitch, he's about to go to prison for like 25 years, has bear mace in his eye,
Uh-huh.
snot running down his face, and Dog just gets in the back seat. He's like, "You want a cigarette, bro?"
Yeah.
Like every time, the cigarette's supposed to fix it all.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, are you? So what's your question?
I'm just laughing. I just thought that was funny.
That's why it's so popular.
Yeah, but like, you know, these guys are having the worst day of their life. They just got hunted.
Well, I'll tell. I mean, do you have a lot of sympathy for him?
No,
I'll tell you why Dog the Bounty Hunter was so popular. It's not because people like thought he was a good guy.
nah.
It's because here's this like 80s hair metal band looking guy
That's awesome.
that lives in Hawaii
Yeah.
that tries to pretend or act like he's a native of Hawaii.
Yeah, he's
He's
clearly
like-
not.
He's like, hey, mahalo, brother. And it's like, no, you're a white guy from like Minnesota. And he was married to a woman, by the way, that had unrealistic, way too big a tits.
Yeah.
Okay. And he was like so in love with her, which that whole saga, you know, eventually.
Yeah.
But, and then, yes, he chases these people down. He goes into their family's houses and he's like, hey, aloha, you know, I'm looking for whatever.
What started this for me is I seen a TikTok clip and it's like these poor sons of bitches. Like, you know, it's always just ends with him just smoking a cigarette. And I got to think about that.
It's all for TV, man.
That is hilarious though.
Oh, yeah.
Just to be like, yeah, we just hunted you down for 2 weeks.
Well,
Hey, you earned this, man.
let me ask you this. And I guess you don't have to answer this because I understand we have a public image here. I'm not going to confirm nor deny or say that I've ever been arrested for anything.
Yeah.
Okay. But if I had, I would say that, and if you watch a lot of cop shows, they're pretty confrontational when you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And then after they get you and calm the situation down, they're usually pretty friendly people. Like, hey man, you know, listen, I know this sucks, but like how many episodes of Cops have you seen where he's like, hey man, before we go to the jail, you want to swing by McDonald's real quick? And meanwhile, this dude's covered in blood because like he just got tased in the cop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
his head just got smashed into concrete.
but it makes really entertaining TV because idiots, like true blue fans of Dog the Bounty Hunter, not like ironic fans where you're just like, what is this shit? Which is why
awesome.
we were all fans. But like people that are like, oh man, I just love Dog. He knows that and he caters to that because of the cameras. And he'll try to be like, hey, you know, I'm here to bring justice. I'm here to do this. But let me mentor you, man. Let's get you back on track.
Dude,
And it's like, shut up. And by the way, he has no authority.
Oh no, he's just a.
He's a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
They don't get to carry guns. They don't get to kick indoors. They don't
That's
have
why he
warrants.
had paintball guns and bayonets.
Yes, but they acted like they were a SWAT team, like this tactical team. And it was like, and if you really go back and watch a lot of those episodes, some dude's probably out because he skipped on bail for like a freaking child support hearing. And
Yeah.
they're treating him like he's the Boston bomber.
Yeah, like they just caught Bundy.
And they're like, split up, run. And they're all in these black murdered out SUVs.
Body armor on.
And by the way, his fall from grace was big.
oh yeah.
And then he kind of got back a little bit. And now I think he's just like, he's like on the celebrity level is like,
Is that his catchphrase though? Smoke, bro.
probably. I mean, it's probably not intentional, but yeah. My favorite part was that he clearly moved to Hawaii.
Oh yeah, no, he was not a native by any means.
Right, well, yeah, he's whiter than, well, I mean, his spray tan or whatever,
And
but
he had like long blonde hair.
yeah, he looks like he was in Motley Crue, and then they decided, like, hey, you can't really play guitar, bro, and they kicked him out before they got paid.
Yeah, like the forming of Motley Crue,
Yeah.
and they're like, man,
Just
they
not cutting
really
it.
need somebody else,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And then this is just a fun one. How great would it be for someone to break into your house?
It's happened to me.
I know, but listen, you have like motion, sensors or something, and it's set up where like everything goes pitch black in your house, and then you get to dress as Batman with night vision.
What do you mean get to? You think I don't dress as a Batman at home?
Well, I don't know what you're into, man. Different folks, different strokes. You know what I mean?
I've seen some videos on like Instagram or whatever where these really creative, like, I don't know what you want to call them, rednecks or patriots will set up their Alexa and they'll have like
That's kind of what I was talking
crazy
about. Yeah.
guns around their house and they're like, Alexa, intruder alert. And it'll like go to dark and like red light and it'll be like, welcome to the jungle, motherfucker. And like all these guns will start coming out and strobe lights will hit. And you're like, that's pretty cool. But
Well, in my dream scenario here, I was dressed as Batman, and in the pitch black, I have night vision, so I can see. I go up behind him and I'll be like, I'm right here.
well, I will say, speaking from experience, I've always said that one of my biggest fears in the world was, because I'm a hard sleeper, is someone breaking into my house while I'm in my house, just because I don't know if I'd wake up to react. But then I was also of the mindset, like we talked about last week when you're watching those movies and you're
Yeah,
like,
you think you're ready.
you watch Jason Bourne, you're like, that could have easily been me. Where I'm like, I hope somebody does, because I'm a, and then it happens.
Find out.
It happens, and it's all so quick and such a crazy,
Your adrenaline's just boom, kicking
that,
in.
like after you deal with the situation in whatever manner you do, you kind of start rewinding it back in your head, and you're like, I probably could have done this a little bit different. I mean, you're just not prepared, really.
Well, you're in a dead sleep.
Right.
My problem would be I'd have to replace drywall after, because I'd just be blowing holes
Right.
through.
Yeah, it's well, luckily, or I don't know, however you want to look at it, my guns were not very near me when it happened. So by the time I got to him, homie was already
Yeah, he did.
running out the house, and I did have my scope on him as he was running down the street, and a part of me was like, I think if I shoot him, I'm probably going to jail because he's not in my house anymore.
Yeah.
There's so many.
There's a fine line
yeah,
there.
so I was like, but then I kind of had this like panicking mode where I was like, man, I've talked a big game, and I was like, if those guns would have been where they usually were, man, I might have killed somebody tonight.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't at that point. Shaylee was living with me, so the biggest fear was not even. It's crazy that I was not scared for myself, and it was not like a bravery or a courage thing, because I was terrified. But I was terrified that I couldn't protect my wife. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's some crazy shit when it happens.
Yeah, I'd like to think that I could do the whole Batman
Yeah, we
thing.
all like to think that.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
You've got a million things going through your head, man. And yeah. Now, if I'm like a former Navy SEAL,
Yeah,
I know what to do, but I'm a regular guy.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah.
All right, well, the only thing I had left was Post Malone playing at the Grand Ole Opry.
That was awesome.
Sick.
It was awesome.
And new albums out
Came
today.
out yesterday. I've been listening to it nonstop because I worked nights last night, so it came out at midnight, and I had already had it pre-ordered, and I've been listening to it nonstop. I actually had that on my notes too because I've been saying for years, but I mean I've been a big Post Malone fan. I mean since White Iverson when we lived together back in 2014 or whatever when that was on SoundCloud, and I've just been a really big fan of his music. And then he's always hinted for, the past 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, he's gonna do it.
He's gonna do country, and
Man, he got some big names on this album.
well, dude, he's one of the biggest 3-4 artists in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, and like all these country guys, they're asking like, "What's this about?" And they're all loving it, right? Mm-hmm. And I have he seems like a pretty genuine person.
He seems very nice.
And a big fan of the history of country music, by the way, too. I mean, grew up in Texas, all that. I mean, he's got tattoos of Hank and Willie and Waylon. But yeah, of course you're fucking excited, dude, because if he asks you to work with him,
you're going to have a big song on your hand. Yeah.
Yeah, of course you're pumped.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? But I watched his Grand Ole Opry performance.
He kind of looked like David Allan Coe. That's like with the big earrings on and everything.
Well, he looked cool. I just like that he seems to, for a guy that's crossing platforms, seems to show a lot of respect for country music.
Yeah.
And he's a hell of a songwriter.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's got a song on the album that's called "What Ain't Mine," and wow, I mean, first of all, it's a jam.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you, because so I like to get on Apple Music because it shows the lyrics.
Yeah,
and so I like to kind of read it as a story as I'm listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that helps me compartmentalize like what's going on.
Yeah, make a visual in your head.
Yeah, and it's like, damn dog, you can write a song. And he's got a song with Stapleton that's just fun.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a song with Dolly Parton.
Yeah, I listened to that one today. Mm-hmm. That's a banger too, man. Mm-hmm. And Dolly, she still got it.
She
dude.
Does still got it.
I don't think she'll ever. She's just gonna go to the grave with that talent.
He's got one with Hardy. He's got one with Ernest. He's got Brad Paisley, Tim McGraw. The Tim McGraw song made me laugh. Have you?
No, I haven't dug deep into it yet.
I think it's called the Wrong Ones or something like that. But I've only listened to it once. But Post Malone sings the first verse, and it's just like he tells this girl, like he's desirable at the bar, basically, but like all he wants is her, right? So he's like, these are all the wrong ones. Mm-hmm. And then in the chorus, he's like, the first chorus, he's like, I got fuck you money, so come on over, honey. And then Tim McGraw gets down there and he goes, I got country money. He won't say the F word. But I have a hard time because Tim McGraw is like sober, which is great. Mm-hmm. Kudos. But he still sings songs about like drinking beer and shit. And I'm like, I can't believe it anymore. You don't do it.
Yeah, you're not a part. I mean, maybe you can speak on your, I don't know, your wild days or something, but.
But yeah, man, I'm pretty stoked. And I think he's gonna get nominated for a lot of shit.
Oh yeah. I already assume this album's gonna go number one pretty much.
If it's not already.
Instantly, yeah.
I'm curious to see if this is something like, if he's kind of found a home here and he's going to stay, or if he's going to just do this one project and go back to kind of the pop side of
Hard
things.
to say,
or
man.
I mean, he could do both. I mean, I don't see why not. But people seemed to accept him a lot better than they did like Beyonce or God, Bret Michaels tried to come over and do
How long is it before Taylor Swift makes another one?
country album?
Yeah. It's going to happen.
I hope so.
Because she'll go back. Because, I mean, like you said, it's the most popular genre right now.
Oh, it's the biggest platform in the world. That's why MGK's trying to get in on it. Like everybody's trying to come over to country music. Right now. Country's cool.
Yeah.
And really because of guys like Morgan Wallen and stuff like that have just kind of made it cool again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everybody wants to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time.
And there's a part of me that's like, I like that, my favorite type of music, country music. I like that everybody's like, come on in, like it's kind of that Southern hospitality thing. Like, come on in. But then there's a bit of a purist side of me too.
It's like, fuck these guys.
Well, when people do it for the wrong reasons, when people are like, oh, I'm not making any hits here.
Yeah.
So let me just try
Well,
to come
that
over
tends
here.
to be what it usually is, right?
Yeah, Steven Tyler tried to do a country project. Brett Michaels, nobody wanted it.
Okay, for one, you're Steven Tyler. You're Aerosmith, man. You're always going to be Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Just be Aerosmith.
Yeah, I can't remember what his couple songs were. They weren't that good. But Brett Michaels tried. There's been only a few people that have really done it success. Darius Rucker did it really well.
Yeah.
Probably one of the first guys to come over
Yeah.
and do that. But
Taylor Swift got out of it. She was like, no,
Right.
I'm out.
well, she ended up getting almost, probably bigger when she got out. I mean, she was huge in country
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
She's also very young. But yeah, I think at some point she'll write another country album.
bet so.
She still writes country songs. I mean, she's won CMAs and she's not even at the CMAs. I mean, for songwriting.
That's all. That's just baller.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just that busy though.
I wouldn't say I'm a Swiftie, but I like some of her songs, but I definitely respect her as an artist. Cause
Oh yeah. I mean, successful. I mean,
she's doing some incredible shit. And it seems like she's just always on tour.
yeah.
Like, how long does this tour last?
I don't know. Ask Elton John. He's been doing it for like 50 years.
Yeah, but he's had like 6 farewell tours.
His last tour, he swore up and down was the last tour.
Yeah.
That last tour has been going on for 5 years now.
Well, the Rolling Stones are guilty of that shit too.
Yeah.
So
Well, the last tour doesn't become the last tour until it ends. which
George
is-
Strait did that bullshit. The Cowboy Rides Away tour. He was gone for like 8 months and announced another tour, and you're like, dude, you said you were done. What are you doing?
I love it.
Well, yeah, I mean, as a fan, because you're like, a lot of the times, depending on, especially where we live, you're
I
not
just-
going to get to go to that show.
I just love it as a business aspect of being like, I'm so famous, but I need people to believe I actually give this shit up.
Well, and then there's the instance too where a lot of people, it's probably less common now, but like would burn through all their money, and they're like, shit, I got to go on like Whitney Houston.
Yeah, yeah. Where
She had
was-
to go back on all these tours and just was overworking herself and sounds like shit, but she needed the money so bad because Bobby Brown and everybody just drained her.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, I'm kudos to Post Malone, man. I don't necessarily understand the album name, the F1 Trillion. I get it because it's like F-150 or F-250, like it's a
Yeah.
Ford truck. I don't know what the significance is with the 1 trillion.
Sounds cool.
It does sound pretty cool.
I don't know.
But yeah. So a couple things I had to bring up. Finally done working on my golf cart.
Nice.
Got the back seat on. Sucker's running good. I smashed my finger this week.
And yeah, I seen that.
So the bad luck of Dalton Knox just continues.
The saga continues.
Yeah. It was dark and I had to go get something out of my wife's car. I don't even remember what I needed. It probably wasn't even important.
Yeah.
So I went out in my underwear and I opened her car door. While I was out there, I was like, I'm going to take a leak. I was probably having some beers. And
Right.
so I put my hand up kind of on the door frame to like
Yeah.
lean, and I was leaking. And I was just kind of looking around, looking at the stars or whatever. And then I was done. And so I just shut the door. And my brain just dysfunctioned. It just glitched. And I forgot to move my
Oh
hand.
my God.
And so I smashed just my index finger.
Look how huge it is.
Oh, you should have saw it a couple days ago. So I smashed the finger, and then her car, like when you shut it, it goes beep, 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 and it locks. And so it was in there for a good minute before I could because my mobility is limited at this point.
Yeah.
And I had to fish the keys out and unlock it. So this finger got so big, this was 5 days ago? It is pretty big now,
I mean, it's still pretty huge.
but so you should have saw it. The fingernail was so black. So I was like, well, I got to poke a needle through the fingernail to relieve some of this pressure. But man, I bitched out for like 2 days because every time I would try, it just hurt so bad. So the other night, I was like, screw it. I've got to get this shit.
Yeah.
I'm in so much pain. So I go to Orscheln's and I get like ear tag needles for cows, big aggressive needles. And I poked about 4 holes in this sucker. And the amount of blood that came out of this,
Ungodly.
dude, you should have saw just how small my finger got by doing it. I can't believe the nail's still on there because it is loose as shit. I'm going to lose it. I almost guarantee
Yeah.
it. And yeah, man, it freaking hurts. Like,
That is top tier pain right there, buddy.
and it's my own stupid fault. Like, that's what sucks is I
Dude,
did it to myself.
I did that once. I was putting on a pipe clamp and it was really tight, so I had to hit it with a hammer. And I'm sitting there smacking the hammer down to like get the clamp to shut.
Yeah.
Well, it bounced off I hit it, but it like grazed it, and my hand was down like this.
Yep.
Smashed the hammer right down on my finger. Did the same shit. It got huge, and it was. I'm sure you felt this when you smash a finger that bad. You can feel your heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
In the finger. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and it's so swollen and full of like blood that I just like I felt like my finger was just gonna pop at any point. Like it was just this big,
Yeah.
you know, like when you're airing up a balloon too much, and at some point,
It's at critical mass, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then so like everything I do, write a pencil to write, like everything has just been
Yeah.
bullshit. But it is getting better. It's significantly better. It's still hurts. Still hurts.
Sure.
And then like everybody was like looking at it, and my fingernail was just black, pitch black. So then people are like, "What are you painting your nail? Like, why are you only painting one nail?" And I'm like, "Look at this this finger is the size of my forearm. You think I'm painting a?"
This is out of a cartoon.
Yeah, dude, it really was. So that happened. Then a couple things. You know, we talk about a lot of stuff that's stupid that gets on our nerves and pisses us off. Mm-hmm. The other day, I was walking into Walmart, and this has always pissed me off. I don't know why, but like every time I see it happen, I just want to go over there and like grab them by their fucking hair and just start smashing their face into the thing, you know? At Walmart, you have an entrance and an exit. Mm-hmm. So many people go through the exit, and so many people.
I just ignore it.
I don't know why, dude. It drives me nuts. It's like you can't follow the simplest of rules that are laid out.
I'm guilty as charged.
I'm sure I've done it, but like and I'm trying to go through the entrance, and there's like 10 people trying to exit, and I'm like, dude, your door's right there. Just follow the rules. It's not that hard.
I'm guilty as charged.
But that's how lazy we are. We're like, I don't want to go 4 extra feet out of my way to go through the correct door.
Yeah.
I don't, dude. It drives me up a wall.
I'll always do it.
That and like, I mean, the list goes on, but just speaking of doors, if I hold the door open for you and you don't say thank you or at least like nod or acknowledge, oh, you're about to get a Chuck Norris roundhouse kick, dude. If I could get my leg up that high, I'm putting my boot on your chin. I hate that shit. And I'll usually say something too. Like I'll just be like, yeah, no problem. Fuck me, man. You know? Finally watched Planet of the Apes.
And?
Well, for a Planet of the Apes movie, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
Like, the problem is, like, not everybody's fans of that franchise, so...
Yeah.
If you're just a regular movie watcher, you might not like it. But I thought that they extended... So they did the trilogy with Caesar that I loved, and then this was kind of set in the future, but I thought they did a really good job of, like, building off of that, and then also setting it up for the future of this kind of universe. And I was just so happy that I finally got to watch it.
If there is a future, I don't know. This movie bombed bad.
They all kind of do.
Oh, did you see Borderlands? So, you know what I'm talking about, the movie, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Is it out?
Yeah. I've never seen how a movie bomb so bad.
Really?
It had a budget of $140 million. Can you take a guess how many millions it made in the first weekend?
Well, if you're saying it's bombing, like, I'll say 2.
$9 million. Out of $140 million budget.
Studio's pissed.
Oh my God.
And then I got 3 more things. I got this Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Don't wanna be an American idiot.
It's Green Day, huh?
Finally it's coming. It's here.
Nice.
I'm pumped, dude. I pierced my ears.
You're ready, dude.
I bought Vans.
Oh shit.
This is one pair.
Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah, but they're not the pair I'm wearing to the show. I got a more like traditional style Van. I've never owned Vans before.
Comfy shoes.
Yeah, they're pretty cool, right?
I wear them all the time.
Interesting people that work in that Van store.
Yeah. That's a.
It's kind of like I walk in there and
It's what you would expect.
They're kind of looking at me like, what's this guy doing in here? You know? I feel that way too. Like if I go into a Western store, but I'm not wearing like boots and jeans, I feel like they're looking at me like, what's this guy doing in here?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Green Day's coming up. I'm so freaking pumped, dude. That's why I'm glad my finger's getting better so I can throw up my heavy metal fingers.
Yeah.
My heavy metal horns. I hope they don't suck. Because I've been waiting on this concert since I was 7.
There's no way they'll suck.
Thank you. I don't think so either.
There's no way.
Yeah, I think they're going to be really good.
Yeah.
I just hope so. They dropped a new album like a couple months ago, and it's the Saviors album, and it's like the Saviors tour. but it's also the 30-year anniversary to American Idiot.
Yeah, there is no way as Green Day fans that they don't play their old hits.
They have to, right? Because we'll riot.
As a band, there's no way you can do that.
Yeah, but some bands don't, and it's frustrating.
That's to those bands, fuck you.
Yeah,
Because
I get
honestly,
it. You've been playing the same songs for 30 years, but
yeah,
that's
think
what
how
people.
many generations
I
of
get it.
people like Green Day.
I know. I'm pumped. There's a good group of folks going. Austin, he's going.
Nice.
Are
Are you gonna wear your chain wallet?
So I don't have it anymore, but I'm not gonna lie to you. The other day, I got on Amazon and I damn near ordered another one, but I was like, I don't want to take this too far.
Yeah.
But I do have a Green Day Dookie shirt that I'm gonna wear.
Nice.
And I've already kind of gotten some shit like, oh, don't wear a band tee to that. And I was like, fuck you. If I go to a baseball game, I'm gonna wear.
Yeah. If I go to a football game, I'm wearing their jersey.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm wearing it.
Yeah, I would.
But yeah, I got earrings now. And the thing with the earrings, you asked me before we started, why'd I do it? So here's the deal. I have been really on the fence about it for about 2 years now.
Okay.
And in a lot, I would say most ways, I'm very impulsive about the decisions I make and the things that I do.
Yeah.
When it came to my nose piercing, I mulled that over for about 1.5 years before I did it. And it's the same with the earrings. And I think it's because I hear my mom's voice in the back of my head that's like, boys don't get piercings.
Yeah,
What the
yeah,
heck?
yeah.
Like, and then it's always like, oh, great. Now I got to show my family. Like,
Yeah.
you know, are they going to be embarrassed of me or whatever? There's a large part of me too that's like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's a major part of me.
Right. But so, you know, my whole life I've never had earrings or,
Yeah.
and a lot of people did when we were high school, college. Like that was kind of a cool thing. I never did. So now I'm kind of like, I'm like doing everything in reverse. So like I'm getting to be in my third
You're
decade.
Benjamin Buttoning it?
You kind of like, I'm doing shit like Legos, for example. I never played with them a kid. I get into my late 20s, I start playing with Legos. Never had piercings and everybody did. Nobody else has them. Now I'm getting them. I'm digressing back into like a teenager. But I actually really like them. But it was funny when we went to Wichita. I didn't have my my wallet, you know, with me because you know, married now, so everything's kind of just like
Yeah.
the same. So I went in to get a nose hoop for Green Day, and we're in the mall, and I went to what's that? It's a store for little girls. It's like a little jewelry store for little
I
girls.
know what you're talking about because we took Whitley there. I can't
Claire's, is that sound right?
think you might be right.
Okay, so we go into Claire's because I was like, I need a nose ring. First of all, thank God my wife's with me. If I go in there alone,
Yeah, you look like a creep.
yeah, they're gonna be looking at you, like watching you.
Yeah.
So I get the nose hoop and I was looking at some earrings and she's like, oh, you want to get your ears pierced or whatever? I was like, yeah. And she's like, we could do it here. And I was like, there was a part of me that's like, okay, I'm a grown man. I'm going to get my ears pierced after these 8-year-olds. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And don't have my wallet. And she goes, okay, I need a photocopy of your ID. And I was like, oh, I don't have it. It's like, you know, it's not with me. And she goes, yeah, I need to scan it. And I was like, I'm 30. And she goes, yeah, but with Photoshop. And I was like, Photoshop?
There's no Photoshop in
I
this.
was like, okay. I was like, swear to God, Shaylee's going to hate that I'm telling this. They look at Shaylee and they go, are you like a parent or guardian? Can you sign? And at first, I think we thought she was joking because I kind of looked at her and I smiled. And Shaylee's like, what? And she goes, yeah, can you sign for him? Are you like a legal guardian? And I was like, that's my wife. We're 30. And she goes, oh, we just never know. And I just, the rest of the day, calling Shaylee like mama. I was like, damn, you must look old or something. For them to say that is crazy. But then I also felt bad too because she was like, shut up. You couldn't even get your ears pierced at a children's store. And I'm like,
fair point.
fair enough, you know. But so they turned me down,
Nice.
which was so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because I'm like old. And but anyway, so we ended up getting one of those home kits, and Shaylee.
Yeah, they're easy.
Shaylee was way too eager, by the way, to put a needle through my ear. Like she was like,
Just letting out some frustration.
I think so.
Did you like look her in the eyes and you could see like some demonic things
I
going
just saw
on?
when she was opening it, she was very excited to inflict a little bit of pain on me, and I was like, this is probably something we need to unpack at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't hurt, but now they kind of hurt.
Yeah, it your body, you know, they just swell up a little.
Yeah.
But eventually you won't even feel it.
Well, sometimes I forget they're there, and like I'll have an itch, and I'll like flick it, and that sucks. But yeah, Green Day, ears pierced, brand new me. I'm getting real 2008 up in this bitch.
Yeah, no shit.
Like I'm pretty excited. And then The other thing, I had this thought on the way up here,
Okay.
and I don't know why. I think I was listening to last week's episode and he's talking about that fat nerd that sat next to me at Deadpool and how he's stankin'. What's the longest you think you've ever gone without showering? Like being a child excluded, because when you're a kid, you're like, I don't want to, you know what I mean?
Like a teenager on?
Teenager to now, yeah, probably.
Maybe a day.
Yeah. I think depending on the situation, like if I'm out camping or fishing or something, maybe 2 days max, 2.5 to 3. Like if I'm on like a trip out in the middle of nowhere where it's not accessible.
Even if I'm going out, something like that, I will go take some body soap into the river. I don't give a shit.
A part of me wants to see how long I can go.
You can go a while.
Yeah.
I mean, you won't be invited to my house, but you could go for a while.
Right. But I would like to challenge myself maybe and see like how long I can go.
I don't think you do. Yeah, I mean, you'll smell yourself, you know, but
you can mask that.
It might go nose blind for a while though.
That's what I'm saying. Or you can always like put on deodorant and like some smell good stuff.
Yeah, your hair though, you can't hide that.
Yeah.
When it gets to another
Greasy.
level of grease, you can't hide that.
Yeah, I know that Shaylee wouldn't let me do it. But so like I've got a cousin and her husband who's, I don't know, they're a lot older than me, but he went an entire year without clipping his toenails.
Okay. That's kind of gross.
And I asked him why, and he's like, I wanted to challenge myself. And I was like,
yeah, a lot of people do that. How about you challenge? Like,
I was like, that's well, a lot of people do it just not taking care of themselves. He did it purposefully to like.
Yeah, a lot of people challenge themselves though. Doesn't mean you have to neglect your body.
I think it was like a joke too, you know, like with his kids. But then I was like, man, there is something to that of like something that's so normal that people don't do because they don't have good hygiene, but you challenge yourself not. It's like the dude that ate McDonald's for 30 days straight. You know?
Yeah, R.I.P.
Is he dead?
Yeah, the guy that did Super Size Me, he died just this year.
What?
Yes.
From McDonald's?
I don't know. I'm sure that didn't help, but he died just this year.
I haven't even got to grieve this. I didn't know this.
Yeah, this is live on. Well, this happened like a couple months ago.
This is breaking news for me. Wow. Damn, that kind of makes me sad.
Let him have a McChicken.
But anyway, I was just kind of thinking about this on the drive. I was like, man, if like Shaylee went away to like a sleepaway camp for like, I wonder how long I could go. And like, I know I would get uncomfortable. I know I would feel gross, but could I continue to push myself to just not shower?
I don't know. Why don't we just go throw you out in the, a survival situation and then.
Yeah, but the showering's the least of my worries if I'm trying to survive.
Yeah, but exactly. So you won't even think about it.
Yeah, but I want to think about it. You know? So anyway, I just thought about that as a little bit of an intrusive thought. And then the last thing, our weekly segment we've been doing lately. What are you watching right now? Whether it's a movie, a TV series, what are you watching?
Still The Outsiders that you recommended.
The Outsider.
Cider, sorry.
Yep.
Not the
Outsiders is an
not
S.E.
the
Hinton
gangs.
novel.
Yeah. But still doing that. Still powering through.
Liking it still?
Yes.
I said it was pretty up your alley.
Yeah, it is.
I will say it does kind of reach a point where it plateaus a little bit.
Yeah, I'm at that point.
Yeah.
So I've kind of taken a break.
Yeah.
But yeah.
10 episodes. It's pretty good. I was disappointed how little Jason Bateman was in it.
That does bug me.
Yeah. I was like, what the
I
hell?
want more Bateman, man.
That's the only reason I started watching it. Well, I finished Ozark.
And
Oh, it was incredible, but I don't want to spoil anything. I didn't like the way it ended. I was like, man, I have 4 seasons. Okay. I've poured a lot of effort into this show and a lot of mental and emotional investment.
yeah.
And wasn't satisfied with the ending. And I bet there's so much pressure to wrap up such a good show with a great ending,
Yeah.
but
I got a show for you to watch.
come on, what?
Have you have AMC Plus? I feel like you
But I have everything.
Yeah, I feel like you would. Watch Mad Men.
Oh yeah, that's on my list.
Yeah, get to it.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm going to tell you, that one's a good one.
My problem with shows that have so many seasons is I'll get like 3-4 seasons in and then I got to take a break because let's say there's like 8 seasons. And if the episodes are long, especially if the episodes are long, and then I forget to get back into them sometimes. But I did start the new Vince Vaughn show on Apple Plus, Bad Monkey.
Yeah, I heard him talking about it today on Pat McAfee.
So that's what I'm watching right now. And there's only 2 episodes out. It's like a weekly thing, but it's pretty good. I like Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to make Wedding Crashers too, man. Let's go crashing again.
I know. Or just something with Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
It's been like 11 years or
Great
so.
duo, man.
Yeah, yeah, man. All right, let me see if I got anything else. I don't think so. So, the video thing, last week's episode is currently not on YouTube, not because I haven't finished it. I'm struggling with the internet. Like, I don't know. YouTube is tough. I thought it was going to be easy. It's not.
No.
But just bear with me. We're getting them. And then Chase is about to go on vacation in a week, 2?
Next week.
Next week. So either next week's episode will...
well, by the time they're hearing this, I'll be off.
Right. So there will be 3 things that happen. Either... which I don't want to do this just because the man will be on vacation, but either Chase zooms in and we do a quick episode, I do another solo episode, or we have a fill-in guest. So that's really the only options there.
Well, maybe someone will step up to the challenge. Get up on here.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see.
But yeah, so, and then obviously social media. Can't fucking talk.
I got you. Social media.
Thanks, bud. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Everything but Twitter. And we're no longer on MySpace or Bebo.
No, unfortunate.
God, I miss MySpace.
I miss Bevo. Just having a page, and then you just remember you'd always customize the wallpaper.
Yeah, but MySpace, you could like put a playlist of songs on there. Plus MySpace, that's where you met all the honeys.
Yeah, and then Facebook just obliterated it.
Yeah, and it's not better.
No, but it was new, and then it just never went away.
Yeah, yeah, man, I miss MySpace, man. I think my username was like Rebel6. And yeah, I was chatting up honeys all the time.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Hit me on Messenger.
I always had it's such a stupid line, but when you're, I don't know, 13 or 14, for some reason it would work. It would at least be an icebreaker. But I also, by the way, when I was 14, I think I'd already been to like 3 or 4 different schools. Mm-hmm. So I would always like find a honey on there, find me a baby girl, be like, hey, do I know you? And they go, I don't think so. Did you go to school? And I'm like, no, but it might have been through. I think I played basketball there, and worked every time.
I mean, at that age, for sure.
Dude, I thought I was so smooth, man. I would never, by the way, never meet these girls like in person.
Yeah, but you were like, yeah.
Oh, dude, I had a roster. I was chatting up like 15 of them at a time. And I remember I had a cousin in Arizona. I went to Arizona and we were playing around on Facebook or whatever. And I was like, dude, check it out. I'm going to get like 5 numbers right now. And he's like, there's no way. And I was like,
you had to flex a little.
Type. Yeah, got them all. But cell phones were fairly new, like especially for kids and stuff.
People
like,
just wanted to use them.
Yeah, it was easy, man. But you have a little bit of a ladies man back in the day. And now, I mean, I'm married. So obviously I was the ultimate ladies man. But
yeah, I don't think it's we wouldn't have
it. Dude, if I was single right now,
we wouldn't have it.
The ego in me is like, I'd be so good. I could chat up honeys, no problem right now. Like if I never met my wife.
Yeah, but I think the reality would set in quickly.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It might actually be good because like guys like Morgan Wallen and Luke Combs are like attractive to women now. And it's like, I know 15 of those guys I went to school with, myself being one of them. So it's like, this might be the prime time for regular looking guys.
Difference is we're not famous.
Well, no, but it's not like they're going to get Morgan Wallen. They got to get the next best thing. A guy that looks and acts like him, but can't sing. I can't sing. That's another thing that pisses. I've been watching America's Got Talent. I know I'm getting out of here, but this chick had the audacity to say on America's Got Talent last night. She's an incredible singer. Sang with Prince. Sang a song that she said Prince like wrote for her.
She compared herself to...
No. She didn't compare herself to Prince. She used to sing with Prince.
Oh, okay.
And then she sang a song last night that, according to her, Prince wrote for her.
Yeah.
I find that a little hard to believe because we should know who you are if that's the case. And it's not like he can argue. No
offense.
So, and she said something like, because I always try to give like an inspirational, like vote for me type thing. And she's like, man, everybody has this talent. You just have to go find it. And I was like, fuck you. Cause I don't have that talent. And then I was thinking, do I have any talents? Like, I don't think that I have any one thing I can do better than somebody else.
Yeah.
And that is makes me sad, man. I can't sing. Like, I mean, we're funny, but we're not funny enough. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and I can't sing. Certainly can't dance. I can't rap. I don't have a talent, I don't think.
Oh, that's rough, man.
You can draw.
Yeah.
You're a good artist. You have a talent.
Yeah.
I'm a talentless piece of shit. My only talent is that I can make up lies and believe them and have people believe me.
Maybe writing's it.
Yeah, or professional con man.
Yeah, maybe.
But all right. Well, we got to get out of here. All right, man. Yeah, The Thing. Go check it out, especially if you're into old movies and horror movies. You'll like that. We appreciate the continued support. Here very shortly, we'll be in a more professional atmosphere.
Yeah, big plans.
HR department, maybe even.
I hope not.
But it's all because of you guys. So thanks, and we will see you next week. Cheers, bud.
Love you, buddy.
Love you, dude.
Sitting here